I have a problem. So here we are at the much anticipated end of 2020, and arguably one of the most talked about games of the year released here at the very end of 2020, for better or for worse, is Cyberpunk 2077. And with the release, they also sanctioned, of course, with the lucrative support of Warner Brothers Games, who's the publisher. They were able to kind of hone in on a very, very hefty collector's edition for the game. And saw one at work, and I nabbed it because I could potentially be a ginormous sucker. But when I saw an image and a list of what exactly is entailing inside, I figured, you know what? This is probably going to be it. This is probably going to be it as far as collector's editions for the foreseeable future. Because, I mean, I know that we probably could have God of War next year and a handful of other games, but this is the one where I'm like, alright, you spared no expense. And now let's take a look exactly what's inside of the collector's edition for Cyberpunk 2077. And this thing is just so massive, as you saw in that opening shot, that we are actually going to go dual cam on this one. We got my Sony mirrorless recording the front here, and then overhead via bird's eye view we have the wide angle lens provided by the GoPro Hero 6. It's a little bit of the older generation, but it's going to get the job done. So let's take a look at exactly what's inside. So a little bit of the tape kind of came off already, because the tape here is actually holding a little bit of a sleeve that houses the collector's edition. So we have this sleeve, and on the front you see, of course, the traditional Cyberpunk artwork right there. On the sides you just see kind of like a mock-up of a crate right there, and then on the back an image of what's inside. And then on the crate itself, of course, the box is kind of modeled to look like a supply crate that you see inside of the game itself. So you have a little bit of that kind of theme going on with the yellow and the gray inside. Also kind of reminiscent of the Cyberpunk limited edition Xbox One X console that I unboxed earlier this year. And on the sides, you kind of have a little bit more of that theme going on. So I'm going to try to flip the box here on its side. So you kind of have that going a little bit there. Then on the other side, keeping in line with that, oh my god, this is gonna be terrible. I can already tell this is gonna be kind of terrible. This is gonna be probably arguably one of the worst unboxings I've ever done. I'm telling you right now. And then on the side, see if I can show it, you have a little bit of the yellow, but more so blue going on right here. And this is kind of in line with the theme of that Xbox that I unboxed earlier this year. I'm legit trying to see if there's anything on the back, because on the back here you just see more yellow, gray. I'm trying to see what's on the front. I might just have to move the mic for this one. So on the front, you don't really see much else, except you can kind of see the little 77 logo along with a bunch of other little serial numbers and stuff like that. Just trying to keep with the theme and aesthetic of it being a crate from Night City. This is a workout. This is gonna be a goddamn workout to unbox. Holy shit. On top of it being big as well, it's also kind of heavy. Like, I can actually work out with this thing. Ugh. Oh yeah, someday I'll look like Keanu Reeves.
You're breathtaking.
Let's actually try to open this fucking thing, because what I find interesting almost right away is that there's a particular way of unboxing this thing, because you have these panels here that kind of open up, but I don't think that's actually because when you do that, when you open this up, as you see right there, it kind of folds in on itself. But overall, it looks like the best way to go about it is to just try to remove this part. And it looks like it's just another cardboard piece that's separated from the rest. Yeah, and there's just a bunch of yellow inside. So, okay. Can maybe do it without that. At least we were able to reduce the size of the box. We have a little tab here, no tape, so it looks like it's going to be an easy pull out here. That's what she said. At least it's very accommodating for them to actually throw in the handle to make this thing carrying this thing out of the store a little easier than what it was, or what it could have been rather. So we open up these panels, then we open up the panel with the handle, and on the inside you see an enormous bit of styrofoam there on my right, and then cool looking compartment here that actually has a legit handle there that's telling me to pull it out. Wow, okay. So if I do that, oh my god, this is heavy. Oh my god. Ooh, I think this is all of the other little doodads. So let's try to do this. Hold on. Let's semi-close that up there. And we can maybe rest this piece right here that looks like a suitcase down. And as the other camera's going to show, we have a giant label here. Cyberpunk 2077. Overall, the presentation is actually rather nice. It's cool to see that, you know, Xbox and publishers like WB Games are at least going all out with their presentation, you know, unlike PlayStation. And this whole compartment thing is built rather well. Again, it's really heavy. I get the feeling that pretty much everything except the statue is in here. But you see, that's the top. Then on the sides, you have arrows pointing to where the upward portion is. Some serial number mumble jumble there, all in black and yellow. Here's the handlebar that has the little indicator telling me how to hold it. More arrows, the little cutout that again feels very premium. It doesn't feel like just an ordinary thing. There you go. And then how much else there on the side? Right there. There it is. Let's open up the lid. That kind of comes apart here. Oh no, it's actually, I thought it came off completely like this. No, it's actually just off of a hinge. And when you do that, whoa, oh my god. Oh my fucking lord. All right. Okay. All right. This is oh my god, I needed definitely more space for this. So let me try to center it here in the camera, as you can kind of see here. So from the get-go, we have different compartments going on here, and then one singular one over here with the game itself in physical format on the PS4 edition here. But holding it in place, as you can see, is this translucent plastic that I think is taped this portion of the packaging. So you kind of lift it here, and I guess officially that would have been in the center there. So that kind of came off probably during handling while I was carrying it and kind of flipping it over the side. So that's my fault. But that's where the game is encased, right behind a translucent piece of plastic that, if you couldn't already tell, is what I believe are all the people responsible for the game. Whether or not this is a good thing right now is up for discussion. I'll leave it at that. And when you remove that, you then gain entry to the game itself, which even if you didn't get the collector's edition, they still pulled out all the stops when it came to the physical release of Cyberpunk, because you don't just get the game in its original casing with the 2 discs, you get a reversible cover of the female version of the main protagonist here, V. But along with that, they're also throwing in the World Compendium, the stickers, the postcards, and a game map, along with digital content access, which is, of course, the soundtrack and all this stuff. So even at the full $59.99 of the standard edition of the game, they're throwing in some goodies that at least make it a bit more appealing than what any other developer really does, or publisher rather. So that's at least a somewhat decent plus, considering the state of the game that it's in, especially for quote-unquote last gen. But that's a topic for a whole nother video. Then we get over to this other section, and as I kind of move this here to kind of put it in more center focus, we have the artwork, which is a hardcover artwork book. The official art book, what the hell is wrong with me? The official art book of Cyberpunk 2077. Who's the publisher? It doesn't really say who the publisher is. I guess it's CD Projekt Red themselves, but this is a full-on hardcover book, and these are the art books that I'm always after. I gotta be honest, I'm a little jaded by how now they're doing a bunch of those like mini art books where it's like this thin and this small. What happened to the traditional big hefty books that would give you a plethora of artwork to kind of skim through? And this seems like an answer to that. Now, granted, I wish I could peruse through it, but I don't want to risk spoilers, as I always do with these art books, so I'm going to go ahead and set it to the side. But I'm glad to see that it's of decent heft, and I look forward to beating the game so I can finally go through this and see exactly how everything translated over. Then we have what is arguably my favorite part of almost any collector's edition, which is the Steelbook. So it's cool to see that not only do you get the standard edition of the game, but you also get a Steelbook to enclose it in if you so choose. And I'm glad to see that the Steelbook is very different from the one that Best Buy was throwing in as a free goodie, because I gotta be honest, the Steelbooks that were coming free with the game, regardless of which edition you got from Best Buy, they were okay. They didn't look any spectacular, to the point where I actually forgot to get it with this edition, and I wanted to go back and kind of see if I could get it on the side or something. And after seeing the designs, I was like, you know what? I'm good. It's fine, because they modeled them after the life paths. You know, you got the Nomad one, the Street Kid one, you got the Corporal ones. And the look and this aesthetic of those Steelbooks, they just didn't catch my attention. They kind of looked more like Steelbooks for a Borderlands game rather than Cyberpunk. So I was just like, whatever. And this one is definitely significantly a lot better, because it still keeps up with the aesthetic of that Cyberpunk feel, but also kind of matches the Xbox One X that I unboxed earlier this year with the yellow and the gray. And I like how they changed up somewhat the logo by just having it say Cyberpunk, and then on the back you just see 77, and then more of that art style there on the back. So there you go, cool little Steelbook being added to the Steelbook collection, especially for the video game side of things, right there on that side. And then over on this side is a nice little visitor's guide to Night City 3rd edition, but it's enclosed inside of an evidence bag by the NCPD, aka the police department that is around Night City. Now, I don't know if I'm going to get to this on this video, because it looks like it's legitimately sealed. I would actually have to tear open the bag, and I kind of don't want to risk damaging it, so I'm going to do that off camera. But there you have it there, and you're probably going to see some B-roll of the actual guide itself once I get through the bag that I don't really want to tarnish. But I see some interesting little Easter eggs written on the front of that evidence bag, so that's pretty cool. And then we have these little yellow boxes. I wonder what they contain inside. I wonder if they're like little mints. But all 4 of them are pretty... Oh, I know what's here. So you got 4 yellow and black boxes. Go with the lightest one here that just says Night City Samurai. You see that kind of going on right there. All right, and if I open it up, inside is some patches, I believe. These are going to be the patches that you can put on a coat or something with the Samurai, the logos for Night City, I believe. I like the Night City one actually right there. So it's moments like this that I really genuinely wish I had one of those nice little jackets to put these patches on, because that would have been a nice little addition. But I do not, so back in the box they go. Let's go with this one that has what I'm assuming kind of looks like grenades there on the front of the box. How much else there? So let's open it up and see. We got stickers. And it's a pretty hefty stack of stickers here. Let's see what the stickers kind of look like. There they are. And I'm hoping that I don't see too many spoiler related stuff from what I can tell. It's pretty much brands that are inside of the game. See right there. So you pretty much have one that says Charity Supply, Corporate Wars. So obviously brands of all the different drinks, foods, and pleasures of the Night City, of which I hope I don't really see too many of here, because I want to make sure that I don't have to censor this video. Pretty neat. You know, if you ever want to decal your device, your laptop, or whatever the case may be, they threw in a shit ton of stickers. This feels rather hefty, so if you're a big sticker fan, you got that right there. Let's go to the next one. Okay, a couple of pins there. So you have 2 pins, one of Night City Heat, and then the other one that just says Militech, which is meant to be the more militant division of Night City. Yeah, they could have used... Yeah, they could have given me, like, broader holes to reach in here.
That's what she said.
There we go. Or at least I'll take at least one out. I'll leave the other one alone. But basically, easygoing enamel pins right there. Kind of show you some decor of Night City. So if I'm up for it, I'll probably put that on my uniform shirt, take it to work. Okay, so now I'm starting to catch on. Okay, so on the side of the boxes, you actually have decals showing off what's inside. So you have the little back piece of the pin there, the pin stoppers, showcasing that the pins are in here. Stickers right there, and then the patches right there. So there it shows it right there. All right, so I'm an idiot. Lastly, judging by the side there of the box, it shows a little key with a ring. I'm imagining that this is the key ring, and this is probably going to be one of my favorite parts of this collector's edition, is a keychain with a die-cast model of the default car. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's called VTEC or something like that, of the cars in Night City for Cyberpunk. The one that I actually really like, that kind of looks like a Corvette, except it's not really. but it is made out of die-cast metal, so it's very hefty. The wheels are actually their own pieces, so they do rotate. But other than that, it's just a simple little keychain to attach to your keys, along with a little logo there. I don't know what the logo is kind of modeled after, but I'm assuming it's one of the corporations that run these cars, and then a little red key ring to attach to your keys. So that is pretty dope. This is already, I can tell, along with the Steelbook, one of my favorite parts, and the Artbook, one of my favorite parts of the collector's edition, period. So that's the majority of what you get in the collector's edition for Cyberpunk. But there is, however, one final, Jesus Christ, piece. Let's set this down here at the very least. Open the bigger box back up, and then let's remove the final piece here encased in its styrofoam prison. Not gonna lie, a little lighter than what I thought it was gonna be, but okay. So let's set it right there. And I'm banking I'm gonna need my keys to remove this tape. And as we remove the tape and this top portion of the styrofoam, we got the statue showing our protagonist V in action. Now this is the male version of V, but you can customize your character however you want, whether it be gender, look, across the board. It's not the most innovative customization feature that I've ever seen in a game, but it does the job. The one with the statue, however, is the stock version, stock male version of V here in action. Here we have him, kind of going in, guns blazing, and the quality itself is pretty good. He kind of feels like an action figure where it's not the most premium of quality, but it's not the cheapest either. So it kind of gets the job done as far as paint and look. I'm liking it. I'm actually really liking it, actually. It's kind of growing on me. So there he is, right there. Over here, we have the base, which is actually rather hefty. Base itself is nicely painted and detailed. It does kind of remind me an awful lot of the base from the Last of Us Collector's Edition with the Ellie statue, but at least this one's got some heft. It's got kind of pretty much the same kind of assets made out of the similar material, except with some like some additions there to kind of show you a piece of Night City, or at least the remnants of Night City there. I do, however, like the Cyberpunk 2077 logo on the front there, as you can see. There it is. And then what is probably going to be my favorite part of the statue that I'm already digging, let's get out of the plastic here, is going to be the Night City, almost the Kira style looking motorcycle that he uses to take down this poor motherfucker right there in the front. You see that right there? Oh my god. So that looks pretty fun. In fact, he's already being impaled, and that's supposed to be kind of like oh no, that's supposed to be part of the, that's the base to kind of support it. So there it is, and I'm really liking the sculpting and the paint job on the motorcycle itself. This feels pretty nice overall. So let me give it a quick assembly here. Overall, that's actually rather satisfying. I really like that. Yeah. In fact, I'll go on record to say that this is probably a little bit better than the Last of Us one. So there's the shot overhead right there, and there's the shot from the front, and that's the centerpiece of the Cyberpunk 2077 Collector's Edition. So usually I like to end my Collector's Edition unboxing videos by laying out everything that comes inside of the box on the table and kind of giving my summary over it, but there's just way too fucking much and way too big of those things here in this particular Collector's Edition that I'm just not gonna do that. Except I'll leave you with a look of the statue, the B-roll footage, and overall my perspective that yes, this is a little bit of a gamble as far as Collector's Editions go, not only because of how the price tag that is attached to this thing, but also because of the game itself and the current state that it's in, the controversial current state that it's in. But if you can push beyond that and know that there's something truly ingenious here, especially if you manage to be one of the chosen few who are playing this either on a super rigged out PC or on next gen consoles like the PS5 and the Series X, then I'd say if you manage to have the cash and the resources to find one of these things out in the wild, go ahead and pick it up. Otherwise, that does it for me. It's time for me to start dealing with some space management here in my place, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care and stay humble.